Welcome friends, come on in to the One Play Esports Spectrum. It's Wednesday night, which means only one thing. It's time to get stuck back into the One Play Sports C Nations Cup, a huge Group B clash coming your way between Singapore and Indonesia. 6 points for either of those nations tonight mean they will be through to the semi-finals. But there's a lot of Pro Club to be played between now and around about midnight Singapore time. Hope this Wednesday finds you well. I know what you're thinking. Who is this dashing debonair man to my right? Well, let me tell you, this is the godfather of gaming, the man that put the E into esports, the Prince of Pro Club, the first Admiral of FIFA. He's too hot to handle, too cold to hold. Nitin Nambiar, the notorious one. How are you, Nitin?
Hi guys, yeah, I'm doing good, Patrick.
And
Thanks.
listen, look at this guy. Give us a 12. Give everyone at home a 12. Look how stylish you are tonight.
Hola, no need lah.
Give a 12, come on.
Okay.
Just give it a 12. Look at this. The new shoes looking resplendent. Let's have a look at the T-shirt.
Jordan's everything today.
Are you, listen, on the subject of that,
Yeah.
the last dance, if you were going to have your last dance with anyone, who would it be?
Probably Rihanna.
I was hoping you'd say me. It's very
Oh yeah,
disappointing.
you'll be second, man. You'll be the second last dance.
After Rihanna.
Definitely.
Okay. Thank you very much. Nitin here for his expert analysis. Nobody knows Pro Club like the notorious one. He'll be guiding us through all the top action still to come. And we've got a massive treat for you tonight as well, because singing live the national anthem of Indonesia, the Indonesia Raya, is YouTube sensation Zara Leola. And she is an absolute sensation. Her father's a big rock star in Indonesia as well. That is to come. All the pomp and pageantry of proper international Pro Club coming your way on One Play Sports tonight. And if you are joining us for the first time after Raya, I hope the Raya was good for you. You're wondering, what's all this about? I've stumbled upon One Play Sports. This looks amazing. This One Play Sports C Nations Cup. Well, let me tell you, this is what it's all about. $2,500 in the prize fund. We've gathered the 8 C Nations all together in an AFF Suzuki Cup format. We started all the way back on May the 6th. We're with you every Wednesday, Friday and Sunday. The final the weekend of the 13th, 14th of June, 11 p.m. Singapore time, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, GMT +8. And of course, on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays, the continuing club challenge, the One Play Pro Club challenge, is in effect as well. So that's FIFA Pro Club on One Play Sports 6 nights a week. And we're enjoying it, aren't we, big boy?
Yeah, but it's fantastic, you know, to bring so many countries together in the C Nations Cup and having the individual teams perform so well in the Pro Club Challenge. I mean, it's just great to build this community of Pro Club players and managers, and it's great to see it thriving.
Yeah, and of course, we're all about interaction here. We'll talk about the like, share, follow, comment in a minute. But let's run you through. Are you doing your sign language again?
Yeah,
what was that one? You're like a secretary, like typing,
please
and
drop
then
your comments.
You're like a secretary typing, then goes ching when the typewriter goes to the end.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Let's tell you what's happening with the C Championship so far, because it really has been an enthralling competition. We started on May the 6th with Thailand getting the better of Malaysia, then Malaysia returning the favour. The other game in that group saw Vietnam best Brunei, and Brunei again returning the favour. That leaves Group A very finely poised indeed. Group A continued with Thailand getting the 3 points against Brunei before having to settle for a point back at the Hassan Bolkiah. Then Malaysia surprisingly beaten at home by Vietnam before beating Vietnam in Vietnam. So as you can see, Group A is very finely poised. We're back with Group A on Friday. Looking forward to that. Take your pick. Who are the 2 teams you think are going to qualify from Group A? It's a little bit more clear-cut, but not that much in Group B, which is the group we're focusing on tonight. What about Singapore's 8-0 demolition job? 4 goals from the real-life Singapore international Shamir in that. A hat-trick from Zam as well. They beat the Philippines 3-1 when they travelled over to the Philippines. Indonesia, 2 results against Myanmar. And Myanmar are no mugs, but they weren't obviously as emphatic as the Singaporeans. And then in our last match night before we took the break for Harry Raya, the Philippines losing again twice, but far more competitive to their credit, but Myanmar coming away with 6 points. And what that does to the tables is very interesting indeed, because you can see, as I mentioned in the preview, with the Rock at 10 o'clock this evening Singapore time, 6 points for either of the nations tonight. We'll see them through, but anything other than that, and Myanmar still in with a squeak. The Philippines, realistically, with a goal difference, are already gone, but mathematically going in tonight, they're still alive. But Myanmar could be the fly on the ointment of what I thought was going to be a Singapore and Indonesian procession.
Yep, I agree. We've seen Myanmar perform well against the Philippines. Even their losses against Indonesia, I thought they were a decent side in those games. So for Singapore especially, I think it's very important for them to get the 6 points today, because you don't know what's going to happen between Singapore and Myanmar. Myanmar could upset the cards and, get a victory there. So for me, it's very important for Singapore to get the 6 points today and to seal qualification into the semi-finals.
Time for me to do my first shout-outs of the night. Remember, LSFC. Show them, Vic. Talk them through the LSFC, Nitin.
Yeah, man, please like, share, follow, and comment on everything we do here on the One Play Sports Facebook and YouTube page. We're connecting communities and creating heroes here, and we hope to see a couple of heroes here tonight from either Singapore or Indonesia.
Yeah, any advanced shout-outs you want to get hold of us, the email address studio@oneplaysports.com. Right, let me rattle through some shout-outs now. Benjamin Lee is here for Derek. He means Derek Lim, the Singapore goalkeeper who was missing for Park Cheek legend in the Pro Club last night. He is back tonight between the sticks for the national team. Wong Wee Xiong is with us, the Prince of Pro Club. I think he likes that. He says the Prince of Pro Club is Derek De Gea. They're calling him, not Derek Lim. Ash is with us. Nabia Mohammed is here for Ashley De Rossi. We've got Jerem Lee here, another Derek Lim fan. Kavin Rangadran is with us. We've got Abbas Abuzar, our main man, Frank Lucas. He's liking your sneakers, Nitin. Ash is here. Imran is here. Mohammed Nam is here. Loads of you involved tonight. This is great to see. Keep the comments coming. We'll give as many shout-outs as we can. Let me check I've not missed any big names out. Some of our regular contributors. My old mate Nick Child says, Pat and Nitin are my heroes. I think he might be being sarcastic.
I love you, Nick.
Ash says, hi, Josh. Josh Lewis. Hopefully you're watching with us, Josh, our dear friend from Wales, who's a regular viewer. We've got the Sheikh Zafran. Goodness gracious, these comments are coming. And great to see. Let's give a shout out to Park Cheek legend. They said some very nice things today.
Legends.
I was giving them some sticker, all in fun yesterday in the Pro Club, but the Park Cheek boys are with us, no doubt, cheering on their very own Derek Lim.
Hi, guys.
So LSFC, like, share, follow, comment, and don't forget, so we can gauge who's winning the battle of the supporters on the Facebook page, plant your national flag emoticon in the comment section. Now, we're going to get to Singapore in Indonesia in just a couple of moments' time. A reminder, let's throw forward 24 hours to what's in store for you in the One Play Pro Club Challenge tomorrow night. I'll get the fixtures out of the way first. Apologies, Vic, that's on me. Singapore, Indonesia tonight. Let's go back to that, Vic. That was my fault. Singapore, Indonesia is tonight.
Yep.
We've got Thailand, Vietnam on Friday. Then we go back to Group A in Malaysia with a big game against Brunei. Malaysia not entirely certain of going through yet. That Group A proving to be the group of death. On June the 3rd, it's Indonesia against the Philippines, and we rattle all the way through to the end of the group stages, which is Friday week, Singapore and Myanmar. And then just like that, biff, baff, boff, we're into the semi-finals. It's going to be a huge 2 weeks of action. Now, as promised, let me tell you what's happening in 24 hours' time. So much Pro Club to get through. The final matchup in the round of 16 in the One Play Pro Club Challenge, and we're yet to see a Vietnamese team through. Can Brotherhood VM put that right against Kerapok VFC, the artist formerly known as Dortmund KL?
KL Dortmund.
KL Dortmund. I knew it was one or the other. That's tomorrow night, same time, same place, 11 p.m. Singapore time, GMT +8. Now, I talked about Zara Leola doing the national anthem for Indonesia for tonight's matchup. We'll get to that shortly. But we want you to be part of the fun. Even if you're not a gamer, you might be a gamer watching at home and you've got your kids there, your girlfriend, your wife, your family, your aunties, your uncles. Let's be part of this. Let's get interactive. Film yourself on a landscape phone because your country needs you. Send us your video, sing the national anthem, blast it out on YouTube in the background, film it in landscape and email it to us at studio@oneplaysports.com or WhatsApp your videos to +65 9721 7756. Right, time is pressing on and I know you're waiting for the big one, so let's get stuck into it. Tonight's main event, we start at the Singapore Sports Hub in just a couple of moments' time with Singapore against Indonesia before we flip about half an hour after that to the Gloria in Indonesia for the second leg. It promises to be a big one. Singapore against Indonesia.
Yep, both the seeded teams in Group B, both having started very impressively, both with 6 points on the table, both looking to top the group, and it's going to be very interesting if, again, as you mentioned earlier, if one of these teams manages to get 2 wins today, they have guaranteed qualification into the semi-finals, which is a fantastic step in this inaugural C Nations Cup.
Great to see so many of you with us on Facebook tonight. It really is. I'll go through some more shout-outs. Let's get the game underway, shall we? Because time is pressing on. Keep an eye out as well for Shamir. As I mentioned, a fully fledged Singapore international in the real world of football. 4 goals he got in that first game against the Philippines. He currently is joint top for the Golden Boot Prize, of which there's a Crash Award. 4 goals for him, level with Wang Ping of Thailand, who we'll see in action on Friday. Nitin, this is where you do your stuff now. Talk us through tonight's team news because there's some big names on display for both Singapore and Indonesia tonight.
Yep, fantastic stuff from both Singapore and Indonesia. Lots of quality on show. For Singapore, they are playing a 4-2-3-1 today as opposed to the 4-5-1 that they played against Philippines. I think that's due to the quality of opposition today. Players I like from the Singapore team, I like Derek Lim, I like Mohammad Fahmi, I like Nazri and Hisham in CDM, I like Assassin, Zam and Shamea Azik, of course, got 4 goals in the previous game. Zam got a hat-trick. Assassin was involved in all the attacking play, so lots of quality on show. With regards to Indonesia, they're sticking to the 4-2-3-1 that they used to beat Myanmar. Players I like from them, I like Jacobson at centre-back. Ziha is a good keeper. Fabian, Frenzy, and Jeffrey, their wingers, got the goals against Myanmar. And today there's a change up front. They got Mama up front, who's replacing Villian, who couldn't make it today for whatever reason, or probably got dropped. No idea the reason why he isn't playing, but Mama has a chance to impress today against quality opposition.
Now, just to go to show you how seriously these boys are taking this, I'm told there's going to be wholesale changes for both teams, particularly Singapore for the second game. Yusof, our main man from VPG, our tournament director from Virtual Pro Gaming, will strip them through to us. I'm told that they want to make the changes because they don't want the other teams in Group A seeing how they set up and play. That, for me, is kind of running before you can walk. The main focus, Nitin, surely has to be on getting the points tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what they'll be focused on. And whoever plays for Singapore or Indonesia today has their country on their shoulders, lots of pressure on them, and we'll see how they cope with that.
A couple of you on Facebook, not that many. Wong's having a bit of a moan up, saying, get to the football. Wong, calm down.
Calm down, bro. Take it easy, man.
You can't go anywhere. We're in circuit breaker or lockdown wherever you're watching.
Chill out.
Chill, because we do this properly here on One Play Sports. Nitin's giving you analysis, and
Yeah,
now
bro, take it
we're
easy.
going to give these games the respect they deserve as we cross live to Sengkang in Singapore. You'll be seeing him later playing centre-back for the Lions as El Kasra, but he goes by the name now of The Rock. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Yes, I can.
He is cooking up Majula Singapore. Wherever you are in the world, please stand for the national anthem of Singapore.
Mari kita rakyat Singapura sama-sama menuju bahagia. Cita-cita kita yang mulia, berjaya Singapura. Marilah kita bersatu dengan semangat yang baru. Semua kita berseru, majulah Singapura, majulah Singapura. Marilah kita bersatu dengan semangat yang baru. Semua kita berseru, majulah Singapura, majulah Singapura.
Man, that is fantastic. Come on, Singapore!
Has that got your heart pumping?
Yes, it did. And, shout out to The Rock. That was a fantastic edit. Showed the goals and everything.
Really
Lots of
good.
effort. Love
Yeah.
you, bro. That really pumped me up for the game.
Yeah, he did that himself. Great to have Rock part of Ultras Esports and a big part of the VPG scene in Southeast Asia as well, Virtual Pro Gaming. But now for something a little bit special, a little bit of a diversion from the way we usually do things. But this girl is an absolute sensation. I first met her when she was 8, when she was over in Singapore making a young Singaporean's girl dream come true for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. She's a bit older now, but boy, has she got some talent. This is already an internet sensation. She's going to be a big star, and it runs in her family. Her father, Enda, is a singer with that top Indonesian rock band, Urgu.
Yeah.
So she knows what it takes
fantastic.
to become a star. She's got star quality. Let's go live to Jakarta to sing the Indonesian Raya. It is the wonderful Zara Leola.
Indonesia, tanah airku, tanah tumpah darahku. Di sanalah aku berdiri, jadi pandu ibuku. Indonesia, kebangsaanku, bangsa dan tanah airku. Marilah kita berseru, Indonesia bersatu. Hiduplah tanahku, hiduplah negeriku, bangsaku, rakyatku semuanya. Bangunlah jiwanya, bangunlah badannya untuk Indonesia Raya. Indonesia Raya
Mark did
Kita
a
pasti
great
bisa.
job. But that was absolutely sensational. Zara, many thanks to you. Best wishes to your family over there in Jakarta, and like everyone in Indonesia, all over the world watching us live tonight on One Play Sports. We hope you are well. Now, Wong, this will keep you happy. I'm going to speak through the magic of my earpiece to our tournament director, Yusuf. Are we ready, Yusuf, to go to the Singapore Sports Hub? I'm told they are searching for the team, so the action's only moments away knitted. You've got to leave your Singapore bias to one side. Just park it over there for a minute.
Okay.
Match predictions for tonight's two games.
Okay, this is besides the Singapore bias. I do believe the Singapore Pro Club scene is very strong. I do believe the Indonesian one is also very strong, but I do see Singapore having the edge here today. I fancy close victories for Singapore. Maybe, perhaps like what The Rock said, I think it's going to be 2-1, 2-1 for Singapore. Very close victories, but we'll see. 6 points for Singapore, or Indonesia will take them into the semi-finals. So everything's on the line tonight.
Just waiting till we can cross to the Singapore Sports Hub. That gives me a chance to give some more of you a shout out. Don't forget LSFC, like, share, follow, comment. Fires Arafin is with us. Herman Diesel says, power, La Rock. German Leas here. The Indonesians loving Zara's rendition of the Indonesia Raya. Charlene Sue says, Nasri Russell should have sung the anthem. He used to win talent time in secondary school. Did you ever enter talent time in your secondary school?
I actually won a Malay singing competition in primary school. Believe it or not, I have the trophy. So.
I think we need to be getting you teed up to the Singapore anthem if they get to the final. Will you commit to singing the Singapore national anthem if they get to the final? Live now in front of everyone. Yes, you will. Singapore get to the final.
You asked me, I didn't answer, you said yes.
You can't say no now. Your public expects.
Okay, I will think about it.
Prabhu is here saying, come on, Singapore.
Come on,
We've got Zhao saying, Daddy Derek. I don't know if that's Derek Lim's son. No, I think he's the troublemaker. This Wong Wei Sheng, I've got your number, Wong. You don't give me any grief on the Facebook comments page, pal. You'll be getting it from me later. You can see behind us, we are about to cross live to Loftus Road, a.k.a. the Singapore Sports Hub for Group A action. It's Singapore in the red. Playing, oh sorry, I should say Singapore in their change kit of blue, playing from left to right. Indonesia in the red, playing from right to left knitted. And let's see if Singapore can make the same start here that they did against the Philippines in quite stunning fashion back on their first match night. Here's Avnos. Singapore unable to get the ball of Indonesia so far. Just have to adjust to seeing Singapore play in blue. Does the national team have the blue jersey?
Yes, they do. It's usually the away kit, so a bit strange to see Singapore playing blue at home, but it's fine.
Assassination's got his fans. Azazam, I think he was looking for a run there that didn't quite come from Shamir, who was so impressive. You can't mistake Shamir playing centre forward there with those, I think there must be dreadlocks, aren't they, on the centre forward for Singapore. 6 minutes gone, you're watching live Group B action in the One Play Sports C Nations Cup here. Don't forget to LSFC, keep like, share, follow and comment.
Oh, brilliant hold-up play by Assassin.
Really nice work, but Farshar is there. Zaki says, let's go, boys. Wong said sorry to me. Wong, I'm only joking, buddy. If you want to give us some stick, you feel free. We're all friends here. It's all part of one big community. Wong Wei Sheng, shout out to Wong. Seth says, if Assassination has 1 million fans, I am one of them. He's got a lot of support, this Assassination.
Yeah, he's a hell of a player, though. I really like the way he plays. He played on the wing the last time, if I'm not mistaken, and he's adept at playing any of the front three positions, and he's a quality player.
Singapore now just beginning to get stranglehold of possession. They're onside here. Nice return. Assassination is touched. Let him down.
Oh, no!
Cherry and put it wide. With Indonesia flirting with disaster in defence, but Singapore couldn't take advantage, Nitin.
Yeah, I know. One thing I love about Assassination is the tenacity in his play. He loves to press. As you saw there, he lost the ball, but he won it back immediately. So created the opportunity, but just couldn't get the finish.
Keep an eye out for Jeffrey and Frenzy, the two players that hit the back of the net for Indonesia against Myanmar. One of their goals scored by a bot. Assassination. Can't believe he was offside there. Indonesia playing their lines perfectly on that occasion. Singapore, remember, in the blue and black, playing from left to right. Indonesia in the red and white, playing right to left. Very confusing, Singapore wearing their away kit at the Sports Hub. That's the other thing that threw me.
Yeah, it was a weird one, but, it's fine. No biggie.
You, of course, are wearing blue shoes today. Brand new blue sneakers.
I knew they were going to line up like this, so hopefully we get a Jordan-like performance from one of the players and we get the win.
Just looking at the permutations of the group, there's still plenty of points up for grabs as Singapore played into the area, and I think that's hacked out for the first quarter of the contest. Interestingly, a draw in both the games doesn't really suit them because it does leave the door ajar for Myanmar if they can only pick up 2 points apiece tonight. So you'd imagine, as we heard from The Rock in our preview show at 10, Singapore are going for all 6 points here. And I wouldn't be surprised if all that bravado of changing the team wholesale in the second game I'm sure they'll make some changes, but I'll be surprised if they make as many as 10. That's what Yusuf was suggesting they were going to do, make 10 changes,
No, I believe,
including Derek Lim.
I believe it's a whole new team, so something like what Malaysia did, and we saw how that helped the Malaysians actually.
Yeah.
They changed the whole team and they managed to get a win the second
Don't forget,
game.
that was coming off the back of losing. If you win this game 3-0, why do you want to be tinkering with a winning formula? But there's a long way to go till we get there as we pass the halfway mark here at the Singapore Sports Hub. This first game of the night between Singapore and Indonesia in Group B. There's Avnoz. He impressed for Indonesia previously. Here's Jeffrin. He's just trying to thread that through to Mama. Interesting, Mama comes into the side. That's a change. That's the one real noticeable change they got with a different man up front.
Yep, Mama has the chance to replace Willian today and make a name for himself. So we'll see how he does today up front. This is Jeffrin with the ball.
Through Jeffrin. This is the first decent passage of
Great
possession
reading by
for
Zam.
Indonesia, but it's picked up very well by Singapore in assassination. Look at that's lovely footwork, isn't it? To get the ball moving through the midfield for Singapore. Down this left-hand side, which they are favouring. Nice twisting and turning, but the right back stood up well. That's Kaya, the right back for Indonesia. Both these sides, they get evenly matched at this stage, Nitin. I don't think we're going to be getting any high-scoring games here. I think you went for, I know
2-1.
Rock went for 2-1.
Yeah,
he went for a pair of 2-1, so that might not be far off the mark. Here's Fuadi. Oh, he's looking for Shamir in the middle. Haven't seen Shamir have a touch yet, have we?
Yeah, we haven't seen the strikers from both teams get involved. It's been pretty much a midfield battle in this first 30 minutes, which is expected when you have two quality sides playing each other.
Here's the Frenzy, getting it out to that right-hand side, and AOL. Frenzy gets it back. Nice turn from Frenzy. Oh, he didn't read the mind of his teammate there. And Singapore, through assassination, has dropped very deep indeed. The central attacking midfielder gets it away. Both these teams want to book their passage to the semi-finals tonight. The only way they can do that for certain is by picking up 6 points. They want the face of it, at least if they pick up 3 points apiece, then their destiny will be very much in both their own hands. If they do it that way, they know if they win both their remaining games, they'll be going through. But having said that, Indonesia, with matches to come against the Philippines, have a slightly easier task than Singapore, who have to take on Indonesia over the bar from Farsha. The best chance the Indonesians have had, and it was very close, Nitin.
Yeah, I think that's the best chance created so far in this game. Brilliant play on the left, found the cross. Farsha was there outside the box, the CDM joining the attack. A great volley, but just got too much power on it. No trouble for Derek Lim.
Oh, they're all giving me pelters in the Facebook comment section. Jonathan Ting wants to make himself a hero. Jonathan, you're very welcome. Keep the comments coming. We can take stick as well as give it out here. We're all about building a community. Just no profanities, please. We're a family show. Down the right-hand side they come. The flag stays down. Chance for Singapore to get into the middle, but Avnos clears. And once again, they just aren't getting the same service as Shamir here than they did against the Philippines. But is that just because the level of opposition is far more impressive?
Definitely, that's the exact reason why. And it's going to be a very tight game today.
Inside it comes with the onside. Fuadi
Come on! Oh, no!
Into the side netting. Nitin thought it was in, and so did I momentarily. The goal you feared in this game is coming, but who to, Nitin?
I have no idea. Both sides have created good opportunities. Assassin has had 2 at the moment, and he looks like a real threat, so Indonesia have got to watch out for him. Farsha there with a good clearance.
Singapore mopping it up well. Here's Mohamed Fahmy. Getting some play. They're getting more time on the ball for me, Singapore, than Indonesia at the moment.
Yep, the
Indonesia's
Indonesians
movements having to be much quicker. Chance for Shamir to get involved, but that cross was a bit wild.
No, but he kept it in. Nice play.
Great to have Seth Gerald Bassett cheering on the Indonesians with us as we go into time added on at the end of the first half. And Avnos, who's been sensational at the back for Indonesia, gets the job done again. The central defensive midfielder. Is there time for Mama to get it going? The striker called into the starting 11 tonight. AKL, there's a good ball through, there's a chance for Mama. Can he get it down, and is that a penalty? No, nothing doing. And the drama at the end of the first half almost swung the game in Indonesia's favour.
Yeah, but great defending by Romy Sharom. He knew exactly what was going to happen there to run down the channel. He marked the man perfectly, won the ball cleanly, and managed to get the clearance. So 0-0, a very fair result, I feel, at half-time.
Half-time. Who will be the happier of the two teams, Nitin? I know you're not a believer in home advantage counting for much in FIFA Pro Club, but if you're Indonesia, you'll be happy you've kept that all square, and both sides, in truth, have looked capable of scoring in this game. It's not all been one-way traffic.
Yeah, I don't think anyone will be happy. I think both sides will be equally happy not to have conceded in that first half. They've had a feel of their opponents. Both sides have managed to create good chances, so both sides will be happy at half-time with a 0-0. And one of these teams will be looking to win this game in the next 45 minutes for sure.
So we'll be very shortly going back pitch side to the Singapore Sports Hub, masquerading today as Loftus Road Stadium, the home of QPR. Interesting, the stadium choices for some of these teams in the Pro Club and in the FIFA C Nations Cup domain. Obviously, the Singapore Sports Hub, not a ground you can select.
Not yet.
FIFA
Hopefully
20.
one day. It's a brilliant stadium, so hopefully they add it one day and we get to play at our national stadium.
Yeah, and we're actually broadcasting to you, I'm not making this up, 100 metres away from the National Stadium
Yes, we
at
are.
the moment, which is a magnificent structure. If you ever visit Singapore, a bit of lag there, let's hope that's a one-off. There's Singapore now in the blue, playing from right to left with Assassination getting it to Liffey. And now Fuad could start again to the second half from Singapore, but Indonesia holding firm. That was a lovely little flick though, and Avnos, who's been a defensive rock so far, does enough to clear the danger, and Jacobson helps him out as well. And Indonesia now try and break, and this is where they've looked most dangerous on the quick counter, Indonesia, Nitin.
Yep, Indonesia, especially with Avnos at the back, he's been brilliant at CDM, winning the ball back, and they've looked to counter every single time. So two teams with different styles. Singapore playing the high pressure, Indonesia playing the sit back and counter attack.
Oh, chance for Singapore!
Let's go!
And Shamir had nothing. He's barely had a touch all game, but it's a Singapore international in real life. Shamir Aziz, who's given the Lions a precious lead in the first game of the night after 52 minutes. It's Singapore 1, Indonesia 0, and that came literally out of nothing, Nitin.
It was a fantastic goal. I can't recall who got the assist. It's either Fuadi or Assassin, but a fantastic... Oh, Hisham. Fantastic through ball by Hisham. Great control by Shamir.
Oh, Indonesia trying to answer straight back. This game is picked up all of a sudden. Business getting lively here on One Play Sports tonight. Hisham, the assist maker, actually a big part of the VPG setup. He's the Queen's Park Rangers manager in Southeast Asia in VPG. And he's a lovely chap. We've had the pleasure of meeting him on a couple of occasions. He'll be delighted to get an assist on the ball, but Shamir will be delighted. He's now the outright leader in the race for the One Play Sports Nations Cup Golden Boot, but the points aren't theirs yet. Jeffrin, just one trick too many, and I think the flag was up for offside.
Yep, definitely offside. And back to that goal, fantastic through ball by Hisham. Shamir with a perfectly timed run. His player has great pace, great composure, a fantastic left foot finish to find the bottom corner, and Singapore lead 1-0.
Liffey is giving it to Jeffrin, who's starting to look more lively. Now they're behind, we might see the Indonesians, but they're going to have to come out a bit more. Remember, this isn't a two-legged tie, they're two separate matches. No nonsense about away goals or maybe, I suppose you could argue they might look at goal difference, but they want to try and get a point out of this, Nitin, and they've shown enough ability to score in this game. They've just got to get the balance right in the final 30 virtual minutes.
Yep, Indonesia have been sitting back and looking to counter, and they'll have to change now if they want to get a result out of here. At the same time, if they change that, they're going to be open to the counter, so lots of options for Singapore if Indonesia start bombing men forward.
Avnos looking up for the run of Jeffrin, but he's only found the brick wall of Fua. And that was a nice touch from Fuadi just after that challenge. Couldn't compose himself to retain possession. But 28 minutes to go, and we have had the deadlock broken here as Avnos links up with Toiled, and there's a ball that's just got a bit too much on it. And all of a sudden, how far has Derek Lim come out of his goal there, by the way? He knows what he's doing, though, Derek Lim. We've seen him come out of his goal before and get things right.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. Sweeper keeper there.
Zam. Second goal, by the way, for Singapore, and I think the 3 points are theirs, but whenever it's 1-0, we've seen some incredible turnarounds late on in all kinds of games here. Matches, particularly in the Pro Club Challenge, we thought were done and dusted, turned on their head inside 60 seconds in real time and about 10 minutes of virtual time. And here's the man that can make a difference for Indonesia. Febrian Frenzy gets it to Akul. Nice, ambitious pass, switches play. Can they keep it in? Just Avnos does well. But he paid the price of having to stretch, and Singapore now have got some space to play with. The Assassination, the man with plenty of fans on the Facebook comment section, is darting down, but gives it up. If you're Singapore now, what time do you look at the clock here and start to put the cue in the rack and start playing really defensively, Nitin?
I would say probably the 80th minute, because Singapore have had the better of this game so far, so no panic yet. They can continue with their regular style of play and hope to get a second.
Oh, Farshar, despite trying to make things happen, is giving it away. Zam, the flag's down here. Shamir again, as he muscled off the ball, he twists and turns, and it just runs out of play for a goal kick. Challenges in the penalty area are strong, you know. Don't be surprised if we get a penalty in either of the two games tonight, Nitin. I feel a penalty coming on.
Yep, judging by how these two teams are defending so tenaciously, if you get the timing wrong in the box, you're going to concede a penalty, and that's just how the game works.
Zubir Matchtak on Facebook says, can Assassination pass me his match shirt after the game? I'm not quite sure how that works in FIFA Pro Club.
We'll ask him, bro.
German Lee says, sweeper keeper Derek Lim, he's like Manuel Neuer.
Yeah, exactly.
Manuel Neuer had a great game for Bayern Munich last night against Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga.
Oh,
Cross comes in, Shamir on the edge of the area, we know he can hit them. Gets it to Romy. Out it
Shamir!
goes to
What a
Shamir,
goal!
and he's got another.
Let's go!
Well, he's only had 3 or 4 touches in this match, but 2 of them have finished in the back of the Indonesian net. And the 3 points are staying at the Sports Hub. Singapore about to shoot clear at the top of Group B. 52 minutes, 74 minutes. Shamir twice. He's on 6 for the tournament. And the Lions are on their way to 3 points here, Nitin.
Shamir Aziz again making the difference for Singapore. I have to say though, it was a fantastic assist from Romy Sharom, the centre back there, showing the passing ability of a central attacking midfielder. A wonderfully dinked cross. Shamir with the first time left foot volley, finding the side netting again. A fantastic finish and a well-deserved 2-0 lead for Singapore.
Simon Tannis with us, loving that goal. We've got the good boys of Maximus VFC with us. Great to have you with us, Maximus. Benjamin Lee is loving that goal. He says, what a lad Shamir is. Quite right. Farees likes the goal. The boys at Park Chick Legend like the goal as well. It's the Singaporean singing loudest on the Facebook comment section. Can they get another to put an exclamation mark on this win? And remember, that's the first goals that Indonesia have conceded in this competition. They kept 2 clean sheets against Myanmar. Singapore, though, a word to the wise, did concede away at the Philippines in their first batch of matches. So Indonesia are not out of this in terms of the night. This game might be beyond them, but they've still got a chance when they
Shamir, hat-trick!
Oh, he's in again for Shamir. The hat-trick card does the business. Indonesia, though, will still be eyeing points at the Gloria Bung Karno. After this one, we'll have a couple of minutes break and then we'll switch to Indonesia for the second of tonight's matches as Derek Lim again. Look, very close to being outside the area. I've asked you this before. Is it possible to handle the ball out the area? What have they done there? Chance for Indonesia. Cleared off the line. Who was that? Was that Romy or Fahmy that got the touch to clear it, Nitin?
I think it was Fahmy.
Oh, Indonesia finishing strong. Jeffering, can they get a consolation goal? They certainly should.
Derek Lim.
Mama denied by the genius of Derek Lim in the Singapore sticks.
Yeah, Derek Lim with a great save there. Mama found himself in acres of space in the box, took a touch, couldn't quite get the finish right, straight into Derek Lim, who made no mistake in making that save. Fantastic stuff.
The frenzy. Indonesia, that second goal concession has woken them up. Can they carry that on to the start of the second game? Because the points are gone here. Singapore are going to keep up their 100% record. And their goal difference now really is a sight to behold. It was plus 10 going into this. After 3 matches, it's going to be plus 12. Unless Indonesia get a late, what will only be now a consolation. And it's anything, now Singapore might have the last chance. Look at the showboating from Zam. Lovely. They know where each other are, Singapore, don't they? That training that they've been having this week that The Rock talked about is being really evidenced here.
Yep, these guys probably know, they know we have pro club leagues in Singapore. These guys are all familiar with each other and it's shown today in this 2-0 win for sure.
Well, they've got the points, Singapore. They are now played 3 and won 3, and they'll know a similar result when they go to Indonesia very shortly. Should be enough. Well, it will be enough, won't it, to qualify them through to the semi-finals. Of course, we'll continue the saga of who's going to qualify from Group A as we get a chance to look back at these highlights shortly, Nitin, and talk us through those 2 Shamir goals, the first of which came out of absolutely nothing. But it was interesting, he was far less involved in the game tonight than he was against the Philippines in that first half, where he blitzed the Filipinos but was dropping deep. Here, he just waited for the service, he had confidence in his teammates that it would come, and boy, did it come in some style.
Yeah, players like to use the first half to kind of feel out their opponents, and I think that's what the Singapore team did there. As you saw in that first half, Indonesia managed to create chances. In that second half, though, it was all Singapore up to like the last 10 minutes when Indonesia had a good chance with Mama. But yeah, like I said, Shamir used the first half to feel out his opponents and came out firing in the second, so no complaints for our star striker.
Interesting, though, that Indonesia did show glimpses of life, albeit when the game had gone from them. That was a chance the Indonesians had that whistled past the post. A high-quality affair, and obviously at international level, you expect these to be the best of the best, but it was a high-quality matchup.
Yeah, definitely. Indonesia can hold their head high. They played a great game, but Singapore were just a lot more clinical there. I think this is the goal. Yep, Hisham with a fantastic through ball in between the 2 central defenders. Shamir makes no mistake. Great first touch.
What was better there, the through ball or the finish? They were both equally exceptional.
Yeah, they were both equally important. You know, Shamir doesn't score without service, and his team has done him a huge favour there with a fantastic through ball.
Certainly was.
And this was Romy Sharom with a fantastic little ping chip from a central defender, I might add. And Shame, first time volley, finding the side netting. It doesn't get better than that, Patrick.
I mean, you can criticise maybe his involvement through the 90 minutes, but when you're in that striker role and your job is to get goals, it doesn't matter if you only have a couple of touches. If those touches turn into goals, you know you're in business. And lots of you, by the way, Derek Lim has got a huge fan club as well. Don't forget to plant your national flags. Indonesia, you're being a bit quiet. I know the language barrier might be a slight issue, but get the Bahasa comments in. I can translate them here on the Facebook comments section. So let's get the Indonesian fans behind Indonesia as we go back to Indonesia for the second game of the night. Dominic Sias, if only Singapore can play like that in real life.
You know what? I understand where you're coming from, my brother. But let's keep our fingers crossed that Singapore will return to the glory days again, and we can have the Kallang Roar back one day, fingers crossed.
Okay, well, in just a couple of moments' time, we will cross live to Indonesia for the second matchup. Remember, Indonesia now in a little bit of bother. They have got the safety net of their last matches being against the Philippines, but they'll want some points in the bank by the end of tonight just to ease the pressure off those two particular matchups. As it stands, the Wednesday night belongs to Singapore, but Wednesday night is only half over. Stay with us on One Play Sports in a couple of minutes. We'll be back with Indonesia against Singapore. The return.
Coming up on One Play Classic this week.
Welcome back live into the One Play eSports Spectrum, where the Notorious has a big smile on his face. You like what you saw from Singapore there, but how confident are you that Indonesia can turn this round in the second game and get their own victory on the night?
Yeah, Indonesia will now know. Actually, it's hard because Singapore are looking like they're going to make lots of changes. So, in terms of Indonesia, it's hard to prepare for opponents that you haven't played against. So,
but that's what
that could be a bit of a smart move from Singapore, but it could also come back to bite them.
Yeah, but if you're the player manager of Singapore now, you've won that 2-0. It was comfortable, but not a cakewalk. Surely, don't mess around with team changes, worrying about Thailand and Malaysia and Vietnam, seeing what you might play in the semi-final. Just get the points in the bag, surely.
I see your point, but at the same time, as I mentioned before, Singapore has a large pool of talented players in the pro club scene, and everyone deserves their chance to represent the country.
But imagine the national manager. Imagine the national manager of the Singapore football team, and it was a situation in the Suzuki Cup, where they just beat Indonesia 2-0, and the manager then changes the entire team, and they're playing Indonesia in the next match. People would be up in arms, wouldn't they?
Again, so if Singapore lose the second match to Indonesia, you can say, my point was correct, and Singapore shouldn't have made changes. But if this second team come out and get the win as well, then you can say the manager is a genius, because Indonesia played 2 sets of 11 players and couldn't figure out how to beat both.
Be interesting to see what changes Indonesia make as well off the back of that. Certainly, Mama had a chance. That Derek Lim save, we didn't get a chance to see that in the highlights, but that was
save.
a world
Derek, you're the man.
Save. Youssef, tournament director from VPG Virtual Pro Gaming. How close are we being able to cross from Indonesia? Very shortly, they're just searching for the game, which gives me a chance to go back to the Facebook comments. Throw up for me, Vic, the LSFC, so Nitin can tell everyone to like, share, follow and comment with us. Great to see so many of you with us in our community tonight. The comments have been absolutely tremendous and keeping it clean for the most part. Hisham, come on, Team Singapore, let's finish the job. Hisham's found time to post on the Facebook comment section. We've got Zulheim here as well. I'll tell you what, Wang Wei Xiong wants to know what your Instagram is, because you're wearing the tuxedo.
Don't bluff.
I promise you it's there.
Wait.
Social distancing. He says, what's your Instagram handle, Mr. Host in tuxedo?
It's you.
You're wearing the tuxedo, not me. I'm wearing a suit.
I think he's got it wrong.
I haven't got Instagram. I'm not down with the kids like you.
Yeah, follow my Facebook page, bro.
What
I
is
tried
it?
this Instagram thing, didn't
You
work
can't,
out.
no, you're a celebrity. You can't be shy in promoting yourself. Tell everyone what your Facebook page is.
My Facebook page is nitinnam2. Facebook.com/nitinnam2. My Instagram page is nitinnam, NITINNAMB. So follow me if you like. and we can have some fun together maybe someday online.
Great to see Seth Gerald Bassett flying the flag for Indonesia, because Indonesia need all the support they can get in this second game. So many of you with us. Our dear friend Ayman Roshizam as well over there in Malaysia. We'll be hearing from him on our broadcast on Sunday when Malaysia take on Brunei in that devilishly difficult to work out Group A. Malaysia Brunei is on Sunday. Thailand Vietnam and a huge game on Friday night. Thailand Vietnam. Who you got for that one?
Wow. Thailand, Vietnam. Man, both teams have huge quality. We've seen them. We've seen most of the players play in the One Play Pro Club Challenge actually, and it's going to be a tight one. I'm going to give 3 points to Thailand and 3 points to Vietnam because I can't separate those two sides.
Jonathan Ting says, Mr. Tuxedo or Mr. Suit. So he does mean both of us, I think. Can you follow me and make me relevant? I'm not Instagram on anything like that. Can you follow Jonathan
Sure,
on
bro.
Instagram?
Leave your Instagram ID. I'll give you a follow, and maybe we can play some games online someday.
Yeah, and Wong Wee Shong, yes, I am Mr. Tuxedo. You were
Make
right.
me relevant. Yes, I told you.
I know, sorry, mate. Arvnos, give him a shout out. Rico's talking about Arvnos. He actually had a good game at the back for Indonesia there, Arvnos. He was probably, I think, their best player in that match.
Yeah, but especially in that first half, he was outstanding at CDM, joining in the defense, winning the ball back, and passing it well out of defense after that. So he had a good game in that first half, but second half, he went a bit missing as well.
Great to see so many of you commenting. I'll get through as many of them as I can. I must say, it's so busy tonight. Not possible to give all of you a shout. But as Nitin said, follow Nitin on Instagram. And whatever you do, like, share, follow, comment the One Play Sports Facebook page. We've got a great strand of sports programming in conjunction with our dear friends at Sports Singapore. We must thank them, because if it wasn't for us being able to use this magnificent facility in the heart of the Singapore Sports Hub to produce these programs in conjunction with Sports Singapore that you'll see on the network and on the Sports Singapore social media channels from Monday to Friday, we wouldn't be able to use this facility to bring you this great Pro Club action on the nighttime shift. So check out that programming. We've got exercise programs, First Light, Rise and Shine, Kelly and Barbara with you for next week at least in the mornings, and John Leong and Duncan the Last with a great nighttime show Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. You can see behind me, we're very close to being able to cross to Indonesia. Can the Indonesians get some points in the bag, or are Singapore going to get the win they need to qualify for the semi-finals to become the first team through to the Final Four in the One Play Sports Nations Cup? You went for 2-1 scorelines before. What are you saying for this one now?
Same. I'm going to go for narrow Singapore victory. I think we have a really good shot of sealing progress into the semi-final. What happened?
Have you got a problem, Youssef? Connection issue? No, we're okay.
no?
Let's cross pitch side then live to the Indonesian Stadium for the start of this first half. You're watching pictures at the Gelora Bung Karno Stadium. Indonesia in the red. Singapore, they're wearing their away kit in both matches here. Indonesia in the red, playing from left to right. Singapore playing from right to left. And we'll have to consult Tournament Director Youssef just to see how many of those changes were implemented. I can see United is in. AOL is in as well. They have clearly made changes. Youssef, let's get these changes through to me if you can, please, sir. I think it's as expected. Nitin, I know you were doing your research earlier quite brilliantly, speaking to the Singapore management to try and find out what they do. And on the face of it, it looks like they've done what you said. It looks like they've made wholesale changes. I wonder if Shamir's even kept his place. How on earth can you drop Shamir in a situation like this?
I understand where you're coming from, but again, we have a huge talent pool here in Singapore, and everyone deserves a shot to represent their country at the highest level, and I'm glad to see Singapore doing that today.
The Straits Times have a field day having made these changes if they don't win. Having said that, Indonesia have made some changes as well. AOL gets it to United. Here's Jefferin. We know he's got ability. Interesting to see if they've managed to keep Lemmer up there.
I believe Singapore have made 11 changes, and
all 11, including Derek Lim.
I believe so. And
that's madness.
And Indonesia have made 4 in total. If what we heard pre-match is followed, so
yeah, we just have to work it out as we go along. Obviously, it's so fast-paced and fast-moving. This Indonesia involving themselves in some decent territory, but not quite getting the finishing touch that they required. And it's Singapore through Ashi who bring it away. Incidentally, Shamir, I think that's still Shamir playing centre forward, isn't it? No, the dreadlocks
he's
aren't there.
dropped, yeah.
So Shamir dropped. He'll have to make do with 6 goals so far.
Which is a fantastic return so far, and I think he's top of the goal scoring charts now above Wu Yang Ping.
So,
it's offside.
Just offside. This is a cagey opener, just like the first game.
Oh, cheap possession there given away. Royal Guard almost found his way through there.
Now, here's United.
Looks like Jeff Frenzy has gone from right winger to striker in this game. An interesting change from Indonesia.
That's kind of a go for broke move, isn't it? Because he was really influential in the middle of the field. As Al Sakra, great to see Al Sakra, aka
The Rock,
who we have with us.
Anyway,
on the pre-show.
one thing to note about El Sakra, I think he's kind of made his avatar to look like you, Patrick Kinghorn.
You're joking. I'm touched. I'm honoured.
He's a white ball man.
Well, I'm sure that's a nicer way of putting it than that. He's far skinnier than me, that avatar. But many thanks for that little tribute. I don't know whether it's ridicule or a tribute.
Yeah, Patrick is on the ball.
It does look a bit like me, I must confess. Over on that far side, Indonesia enjoying some decent possession here, but can they turn it into chances? Questions will be asked of Singapore if they don't get the 3 points and having made these changes. So the pressure's on these players that have been called up. They've got a chance here. Azari. Still Azari. That's a great play from Isa, but Bobby gets it away, and now Bobby with AOL. As you can see, so many new faces on the pitch from that first game. That's a nice ball down the left from United, but they no good playing those balls if there's no one in the area. And even if it had got there, the Indonesian, there was no one in the area, and as a result, they've left gaps at the back. Down the right-hand side comes Singapore. Izari to the edge of the area. Oh, we have to be careful there, the defender, not to concede the penalty. Lovely work from Izari. Cross comes in, and Jacobson sensibly chests it back to Zihar in the Indonesian goal.
Yeah, very calmly dealt with there by Jacobson, who chested it back for Zihar's.
Zihar's, incidentally, he conceded those 2 goals, but didn't do much wrong really in the first.
He didn't have any chance with those 2 goals, to be fair. Whenever the shots find the side netting, you know, you can never blame the goalkeepers because those shots are pretty much impossible to get to.
Now down the right-hand side they come. Here's Fabian Frenzy and Jeffrey, both retaining their places in the Indonesian team. Here's a change in Uran to AOL, back to Uran. Uran looks for the man in the middle, and Ashi chests it back quite brilliantly to Imsaf, who's replaced Derek Lim.
Yep. Again, Singapore making wholesale changes. The team look decent though so far. It's very similar to the first half we saw in that first game. Both sides feeling each other out and trying to find space.
Here's the Maestro Ozil, a familiar face to those of you that watch the FIFA Pro Club. We've seen plenty of the Maestro Ozil. We know he's got tons of ability. It's almost like Singapore have got 2 different first 11s, a team for every occasion. Royal Guard! Shot comes in, Zihar gets the save.
Yeah, nice to see Singapore get a shot off. Royal Guard there testing Zihar. Good first touch, shifted it to his left foot, got the finish shot away, but a good save.
The Singapore fans are so disappointed that Assassination's not in this game. They don't like that call from the player manager of Singapore, who incidentally is Nazari. Obviously they've got Hisham there, who created that wonderful assist in the first game. He's also the manager of Queen's Park Rangers from BPG. Here's who? To the middle of Royal Guard, he's looked lively, but the claw claws it away.
The claw. Anyway, I know Singaporean fans must be wondering why there's so many changes, but let's give these guys the benefit of the doubt. Let's see how they perform, and you know, if they get the win, fair play to them.
El Sakra to Ashi. Ashi over on that far side to Zanio, with another player, Zanio, who we see to good effect in the One Play Pro Club Challenge. He's still participating in that tournament as well. Lots of these Singapore players doubling up at the moment. Obviously no Indonesian sides in the One Play Pro Club Challenge this season. I'm sure that will change in the tournaments to come as the claw gets it away. And this is a chance for Indonesia now. Jeffrin with the Frenzy Man. Frenzy Man and Jeffrin. If Indonesia are going to make this happen, you get the feeling it's going to be down to them to make it change.
Yeah. Maestro Ozil here.
Ozil to this near side, gets it back. Singapore, of course, in the luxurious position where they obviously want 6 points, but 4 would be second prize here.
Yeah, 4 would be fantastic, but again, you know, if you can seal qualification today, let's just try and do that.
Here's United. Of course, 4 doesn't make them certain to be through, but almost all bar certain. But 6 would tie up top spot, and I'm sure they'd like that. Although, having said that, there's no shenanigans wanting to finish second to play a weaker team, because it's impossible to guess who's going to finish first and second, never mind in what order in Group A, in the way that's looking with Thailand, Vietnam and Malaysia.
Yeah, I think it's important to finish top of the group, not just in terms of who you're playing next, but, you know, it gives you lots of confidence when you finish top of the group.
So,
yeah, continue.
Yeah, apologies, Nitin. Half-time here at the Gelora Bung Karno Stadium in Indonesia, but you can see that's not the happiest of faces as they walk off, still unable to get the goal they need to give themselves a shot at levelling the night up with 1 win apiece. Singapore will be happy enough with that 0-0, but there's no question for me, Nitin, they aren't as impressive with this 11 as they were with the 11 we saw in the first game.
That's harsh to say, because in that first game, in that first half, the Singapore team and the Indonesian team both were, you know, they look subpar, substandard. So in the second half, after feeling each other on that first half, they managed to find the space and get the goal. So you see in this next 45
you're expecting business to pick up in the second half?
Definitely, and it's good to see that, you know, in the first 45 minutes, Singapore got 2 shots on target, which is promising. Indonesia, despite all their possession and
No shots on goal at
zero
all.
shots on target is a bad sign for Indonesia at this point. They'll have to change lots of things in the second half to try and get some points.
Yeah, Zihar's had to be really on his guard, didn't he, to get the job done as we cross back live, pitch side to the Gelora Bung Karno Stadium for the second half of the second match of the evening. Remember, Singapore already secured the first 3 points of the night to take them on play 3-1-3 with a goal difference currently, a whopping goal difference of plus 14 after that 2-0 victory. We're doing the maths there. 8-0, 3-1. No, it's plus 12.
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's right.
I know. I always know.
I was
I always
like, hey,
look
that's
to
wrong.
you. I'm getting my maths wrong there. Plus 12 though. Still not to be sniffed at, is it? But most importantly, they need to pick up the 3 points here if they can. Ashi, nice ball through the middle.
Good defending.
Penalty shout. No, and Hoop wasn't offside. They've still got it, Singapore. Eventually give it away. I swear there's a penalty coming in this one, Nitin.
Yeah, it definitely looks that way. Great run down the channel from Bobby was found, but good defending from Indonesia, and they're on the attack now. Good ball.
Over the top.
Oh, no!
Asaf, what did he do there? And that, I think, is evidence that you're not allowed to carry the ball out the area in FIFA Pro Club. It was almost like the controller made him drop it.
Yep.
Jefferin needs to find Fabian. AOL's the man. Off Zanoy. And Zanoy gets it clear. Here's Runks. Indonesia looking more promising now. AOL finds the man on the left. It's Bobby. Bobby back to AOL. AOL on the edge of the area. Look at that for defending from Azari.
Well
Sensational stuff.
Yeah, you look at Indonesia, they're bombing a lot of players forward. They're desperate for the victory here, and Singapore will find lots of space at the back to counter. So Indonesia have got to be careful and got to find a balance act between defense and attack.
Well, no sign of a goal so far. 0-0 draws have been a rare commodity across our Pro Club season. We did, of course, have one yesterday in one of our legs in the Pro Club Challenge, but I don't think we've had any 0-0 draws so far in the One Play Sports Nations Cup, have we? There's been goals in every game, albeit lots of the games have waited to the second half to really open up.
Yep, and we're seeing that exactly here today. So we'll see if these sides can find a way past each other. It's looking promising though, the second half, lots of attacking play, both sides committing lots of men forward.
Standard is really high. Zanoy finds Apek. Oh, that's a nice ball down the right-hand side to find the roll.
Oh, come on,
what a pass for the roll!
what a
What a
save.
save from Zihar! Rebounds out to Ashi, and Zihar does it again.
What
And there's a
save,
yellow
though.
card in the midst of that as well. The claw goes into the book, but luckily for Indonesia, it's just a corner.
Yeah, fantastic play from Singapore there, but even more fantastic a double save from Zihar there. You know.
Oh, Fabian Frenzy
Oh no!
gets all confused there. And it will be a goal kick. Even the cameraman was confused momentarily. And just like that, we're only 28 minutes till full time here in the second match of the night. As it stands, Indonesia will finish the night in second place. But I wonder what Singapore's attitude to the 2 games to come against Myanmar will be. The 2 games remaining for Indonesia will be against the Philippines, and they'll surely get maximum points there, Nitty.
I would say it's very likely, but you know, I wouldn't count the Filipinos out just yet. They've shown decent improvement after every time we've seen them, and if they find a lot, you know, if they find a way to improve even further, they could cause an upset against Indonesia. Who knows?
Singapore beginning to go through their gears to a certain extent here. Iman's asked us, has there been any draws so far in the One Play Sports Nations Cup? Where there has indeed. Brunei and Thailand drew 1-1 on match night 5. That's the only draw we've had so far.
Then? Brunei missed the last minute penalty.
That great, and the bot missed it as well. Remember, they couldn't switch.
Yes,
They
that was
couldn't switch it off
heartbreaking.
from the bot. That was an incredible game. Benjamin Lee says Shamir would have scored in this game. So does Wong Wei Sheng. There's people not happy. Jonathan Ting thinks even I'd have scored. I'm not sure about that, Jonathan. Can't agree with you on that one, buddy. Here's the frenzy man. Indonesia, AOL, can they create the opening? Singapore have been very impressive defensively here. It was very difficult to gauge the defensive abilities against the Philippines because the Philippines didn't offer much coming forward, albeit the Philippines scored in the second game through Christian. But here, against a stronger Indonesian team, they've not put a foot wrong in defence. And that one time when Derek Lim was needed in the first game, he stepped up to the plate big time.
Yeah, but the Indonesians haven't been able to find a way behind the Singapore defense over the both legs, and I think they'll be very disappointed with that.
If you're Singapore now, do you take the goalless draw or do you just try and sit tight and catch?
Oh, I try and get the
that
goal.
with a late one?
Oh.
You're living every minute of this. You can't see Nitin Nambiar, but he's playing every pass, oohing and ahhing on every shot that Singapore take. They've got defending to do now, though. Down the left-hand side comes United. He's been impressive introducing to the second game. The claws on a yellow, United. And what about that defensive work from Ashi? And look at the ball to follow Nitin. Apek, numbers up here for Singapore. They're getting forward. Royal Guard gets it back to a man in space. Apek again. The claw picked that one out. And Indonesia, who are starting to run out of time here, AOL to United. The recriminations about Singapore's team changes here, but even if they don't get maximum points, a point is enough. But now you're going to have to concede, assuming they don't get a late goal here. Why mess around? Keep the same team out, get the 6 points.
Yeah, I have to say they are missing the attacking threat of Assassin.
Oh, you agree with me now,
Shami,
finally.
Azik, Zam, those guys made a huge difference. So, defense-wise, the players who've come in have done a great job, but offensively, they can do a lot better.
That was a naughty tackle that nearly led to an Indonesian going into the referee's notebook. The claw's already in yellow, by the way. He's got to be busy. There is the claw with the header. Here's Johan. That's a nice ball. The Frenzy to Jeffrin. Jeffrin and Frenzy for me are dropping too deep. They need to be in the final third. They're the playmakers, I think, that can score the goals.
Yeah, but they're not getting the service in the final third, so they're dropping deeper to try and make an influence in the game.
Here's Hidop for Singapore. Are they going to twist the knife into Indonesia late on and leave them pointless on the evening? The Royal Guard to Apek. Apek walks into the brick wall that is the claw.
Yeah, Apex had a bit of a disappointing game, I have to say. Singapore offensively have been disappointing in this game. They created that one great chance and they couldn't put it away. But maybe you're right about making too many changes.
Not often you say that, although what's going to happen now is Singapore will score a late goal and you tell me I'm talking rubbish. Here's Royal Guard. Royal Guard looking for options, and that's good defensive work from Johan, but he's giving it straight to Hidop. Hidop, Singapore finishing strong with the maestro Ozil to Apek, twisting and turning Apek. Can he pull the trigger? Oh, he was looking for a runner that wasn't there, and Iron gets in the way. That was an opportunity wasted, didn't it, in late on?
Yeah, again, Apek's final ball in this game has been very disappointing.
Oh, a chance here for Indonesia. They're onside. Jeffrin, now where's the Frenzy man? Jeffrin needs to find Frenzy. He finds Uran. Need to get it to Frenzy, and Hidop gets it away. And having given Singapore criticism for their team changes, I don't think Indonesia have been as likely.
They got a counter here, though.
Royal Guard.
No.
The maestro Ozil could afford to have taken a touch there, couldn't he?
Yeah, he could have taken a touch. There was a runner on the right that was making good overlap. Oh, Indonesia.
They can't look at it to death. United. Oh, he needed to pull the trigger, and Ashi will just hack it clear. Well, Indonesia, what on earth do they want? A knife and fork. The chance was there to steal it at the death, and it was an opportunity wasted. The night belongs to Singapore, but not with 6 points, only 4. They'll go to the top of Group B, and Indonesia will still, to a certain extent, have their fate in their own hands, as their last 2 games are against Myanmar. And of course, with a goalless draw, with a draw of any equation on FIFA, we will not get match highlights, unfortunately, Nitin, but you can summarise that for us in your own unique, eloquent way. Clearly, the teams needed, I think, both of them to retain the starting lineups in the first game, if for nothing else, to continue the momentum, because the first half of the second leg was almost like a total reset, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think too many changes from the Singapore team. I thought Indonesia still did okay, but overall, over the 2 legs, they managed to get maybe 4 shots on target, so that's very disappointing from Indonesia. But Singapore in the second half, they did create a few chances. Just, I feel maybe too many changes, especially the front players, Assassin, Shame, Zam, Hisham at CDM also did a fantastic job in that first game. So maybe don't look to make so many changes in the next time, because you could have sealed qualification today, which is a great shame. Now you got 2 tough games against Myanmar coming up.
Yeah, Singapore's games against Myanmar clearly the trickier of the matches left for the 2 seeds in this group. Vic, how are we looking with the table? Can we cross live to the table now and see where that leaves us? You can see Singapore, for all that we're giving them grief, they are pretty comfortable at the top of Group B. Mathematically, the Philippines can, well, they can't qualify now, the Philippines, can they? They can only get a maximum of 6 points in their remaining games. So the Philippines now officially are out. Myanmar are the fly in the ointment, because quite simply, if they can pick up 4 points against Indonesia, they will go through.
Yeah,
and the changes, the game's still to come.
Myanmar are not a team to laugh about. They have quality players. I like Snoop Dogg in midfield. Singapore have got to be very careful. I wish Singapore had sealed qualification today. They could have relaxed themselves in their final game, but it's all to play for now for all 3 teams, Singapore, Indonesia and Myanmar.
I mean, I suppose from the neutral, and Nitin, you called it as soon as the draw was made, it's very much game on in Group A and B. It's going to go to the final match nights to determine, if nothing else, who's going to play who in the semi-final. Singapore are all but through, let's be brutally honest about it. Indonesia and Myanmar. If Myanmar catch Singapore in an off day, if Singapore mess around with team selection, and we saw from Myanmar, their pool of players isn't as big, but one thing's for certain, I guarantee Myanmar won't be making wholesale changes between their first game and second game against Singapore.
As we've seen, they stick to the same 11, and we've seen the progress the countries like Myanmar, Philippines have made after each game week, and you can see tremendous progress. So if Myanmar make tremendous progress again, and they come up all guns blazing against Singapore, things could get very interesting or messy.
Listen, we're loving listening to Nitin's opinion on this, but you can have your say as well. We're fully interactive. LSFC, like, share, follow, comment. Let me give some shout-outs here, because a lot of people giving some post-game analysis here. Dominic CS says, Royal Guard has got to go to the gym. No upper body strength for the Royal Guard. Fadil says, Ulgalek too much like Sundram. There's another one here, Maximus VFC with us, Jonathan Ting, power to Singapore. Derek disappointed not to be playing Dominic. I'm sure the Singapore boys are coming to an understanding about who plays. They're clearly trying to approach this competition with a squad mentality. Iman makes the point, you're quite right, Iman, the first 0-0 of this tournament. First 0-0 with the first goalless draw, good work, Iman. Erwan says, the second team of Singapore had no goal poacher. They clearly miss Shamir. Even if you're going to make wholesale changes, how can you drop a man that's got 6 goals in the competition?
I won't say that there was no goal poacher. I think there wasn't enough service. And we saw people like Zam and Assassin creating lots of chances, Hisham in that first game. In the second game, the central attacking midfielder went a bit missing. The final ball wasn't there. And, you know, it's hard to blame the striker in this situation. The striker needs service.
Herman Diesel says, well done to Singapore as well. Many thanks. It's been a bundle of activity, lots of it a little bit sarcastic, but crucially not offensive, and keep it clean. We all have a laugh and a joke. We're building a community here, so don't spoil it by being offensive, but you're all very well mannered. And as I say, feel free to give me stick. You can crucify me for the suit. Call me Botak all you like. I really don't care. But please, Nitin's a little bit more sensitive than me, so go easy on the big man.
Yeah, I go back and cry after reading the comments.
Go easy on the big man. Right, don't forget, your country needs you. I tell you what, even if you can't game, you can certainly sing. Record yourself singing your national anthem. There are still match days to come for all the nations, so if you're from one of those 8 countries, play the anthem in the background on YouTube and film yourself singing it, as Zara Leola did brilliantly for Indonesia tonight, and of course The Rock did a great rendition of Bajula Singaporea, which got Nitin at it. You can email the entries, film them on landscape, remember, to studio@oneplaysports.com, or WhatsApp your videos to +65 9721 7756. Nitin, I need you to ask me what's coming up in the One Play esports spectrum in the next 48 hours. Ask me.
So, Patrick, what's coming up in the next 48 hours here?
I can tell you, Nitin, it's a bundle of activity, because not only have they got the One Play Sports C Nations Cup, the One Play Pro Club Challenge continues as well. Our final game in the round of 16 is tomorrow night. Already 3 are through from Thailand, 3 from Singapore, 1 from Malaysia. Will it be 2 from Malaysia, or will Vietnam? I know Nitin's rooting for Vietnam to have 1 team through to the quarterfinals. Brotherhood Vienna against Kerapok VFC. That's tomorrow night, 11 p.m. Singapore time, GMT +8. Who's your pick there, Nitin?
2 quality sides, KL Dortmund, also known as Keropok, versus Brotherhood Vienna. Brotherhood Vienna have been the most impressive Vietnamese side for me, and we haven't seen a Vietnamese side go into the last 8, so my fingers are crossed for them, and I hope Vietnam get a representative in the final 8.
So that's tomorrow night. Then 24 hours after that on Friday, we turn our attention from Group B to Group A. And this is how the Group A table looks right now. And it really is on a knife edge. You think Group B's a little bit tight. This is as tight as a snare drum. Take your pick there. And I tell you something, I think Friday night's game is going to go a long way to determining who goes through, because maximum points for either Vietnam or Thailand. Remember, they play each other twice in the night, so 6 points up for grabs. And that group could be turned on its head. And Thailand, they're looking like they're in a position of strength, could be in big bother if Vietnam take maximum points. And we said it at the start, Vietnam, the unseeded team in that group, created the group of death, and it's living up to its billing.
It has. Look, I mean, just look at that table. Everyone's so close. Everyone still has a chance of going through. Thailand have got to be careful. Vietnam are a side not to be sniffed at. And, you know, I potentially see an upset here. You know, I see one of the seeded sides not going through. Ooh. I can't tell you whether it's Thailand or Malaysia, but I do see either Vietnam or Brunei causing an upset and qualifying.
I mean, that's the thing about this group. Obviously, the Philippines have been found wanting a little bit, but Brunei can upset the apple cart.
They can.
As they've proven already with draws against Thailand. Right, let's tell you the fixture that's coming up on Friday, just to confirm it in all its glory. Thailand against Vietnam will be at the Rajaman Gala first at 11 p.m. on Friday, GMT +8. Then half an hour later, we'll be switching to the Mai Din in Vietnam. All in all, after a 4-day break, we are back with a bang in the One Play Sports esports spectrum. It was Pro Club last night, C Nations Cup tonight, and we'll be back with Pro Club tomorrow. From Nitin, myself, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the LSFCing. Like, share, follow and comment. Nitin and myself do read all of them, even if we don't get a chance to give you a shout out. It's all part of creating communities and building heroes, and boy, are we building a hero in Shamir Azik. Already a fully fledged Singapore international on the real football field of grass. He is tearing up the pro club scene now. 6 goals, he's in the running for the Golden Boot, and his 2 goals tonight have given Singapore a giant leap towards a semi-final berth. We'll see you tomorrow for Brotherhood VN against Kerapok in the Pro Club Challenge. Stay safe.